It's finally time to find out if Swedish Fish actually tastes like Lingonberry. Greetings and welcome back to another Lingonberry-licious episode of the Vodkast. I am your host as always. Oh yeah, you know it's coming. Jason Oliveira. With us today is Lingonberry spread, jam, jelly. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's a fruit spread. I found this, actually my wife found this at Home Goods the other day. I'd never been into a Home Goods before. If you've ever been into like a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx, take away all the clothes and just do house stuff, and holy hell, if you're into that, you could spend a lot of time and a lot of money there. I grew up loving Swedish Fish. My first introduction to Swedish Fish was at the penny candy store. If I can find a picture of the old store, I'll put it here. It was right behind my house. I couldn't remember the street if you had a gun to my head right now, but it was a legit. Well, it wasn't just a penny candy store. It was actually the Portuguese store. They sold meats and fish and all kinds of grocery shit. But they had a section, a relatively good sized section, right next to the register where you got your bag and you just you grabbed your shit with the tongs and you put it in there and they weighed it or they counted. I think they counted. I think they actually took it out and their meaty little hands counted it as they moved them across the counter. I remember that and the sour watermelons. Those were really good too. But I had heard a rumor, I don't know where I heard it, that the flavor, the way this tastes is flavored after the Lingonberry. Now, I've never had Lingonberry before, and this was not easy to acquire. Well, it was actually very easy to acquire this time. However, I had some on order with Amazon, and something happened with the order, so they never came. So I was very fortunate to be able to find this at Home Goods. And without further ado, I'd like to start with a smell test here. Let's bust into the Swedish Fish. I don't know if we'll get much of a smell off of the bag or if we're going to have to dissect one of these. We'll find out. I've always liked the mini Swedish Fish a lot better than the large ones. Unfortunately, the only bag I could find was like the crazy giant bag for Halloween, and it had 7 million mini fish in it. So I figured the flavor really is the same. There's just something about it that there's more of it here, which takes away from the outer shell, whatever it is they coat these in, whatever preservative. I'm sure it's some kind of a sweetener. But yeah, I'm gonna bust one of these in half. Yeah. Take a look at those. Do you notice anything about their guts? Yeah, me either, really. All right, let me smell it. See, here's a problem with me. Sometimes I can smell things, and sometimes I can't smell things. I'm not smelling anything right now. I'm going to eat one because I know I can taste these, and then we'll go from there. Classic Swedish Fish, I tell you. There's nothing like it. I can't compare it to any other fruit. It's not cherry, it's not strawberry, it's not a combination of those flavors. It's its own thing. And I think it's time. Oh, it's Lingonberry time. Okay, let's bust into this. Ooh. I don't want to tilt it too much because it is very gelatinous. There are definitely signs of berries in here. I guess I should get a knife and a plate or something like that. Maybe some toast to put it on. Let's try that. And just like that, we've got our toast. That's amazing. How did that happen? It was like magic occurred or something. I am going to try this on its own, but I just want to get a good look at it too. So let's spread it on the toast. Here we go. I don't know if I'm happy about those actual berries in there. I'm not a big fan of a texture that's got fruit, berry nuts, seeds, stuff like that in it. Anyway, I like the color. It's definitely similar to, let me grab the fish. It's a little darker, I would say. Maybe more of a maroon, if you will. You can see. But tonally, it's very similar, especially when you spread it out. So here we go. I'm going to try it on toast first. I'm going to avoid these berries at first, and then I'll try a little bit off of the knife. Here we go. Okay, as it departs your mouth and that last flavor that you get, there's a similarity there, but I wouldn't say it's exactly a Swedish Fish flavored. Let me try one of these actual Lingonberries. It's close. There's something on the back end that's really reminding me of Swedish Fish. This is a much more bolder flavor, though. It's right up in your face. I'm sure things change when they're trying to, whatever the formula is in this to give it its flavor. All right, let me finish this one off. Let's dunk it in the Lingonberry and see how that goes. That didn't work. I don't know, man. I don't think I can definitively tell you one way or another if Swedish Fish or Lingonberry. I would say that it's the closest I've ever tasted to anything tasting like a Swedish Fish. So I'll give you credit for that. Before we score it, I'm going to take one more bite of the toast. I just want to get a little bit more of it on something. I don't know if it's going to help, hurt, hinder. We'll find out. All right, let's score the Lingonberry fruit spread. I'm going to be honest with you right out the gate. I'm going to give it an 8. It's a typical fruit spread with a unique flavor. It's very bold. It's different. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Swedish Fish, but if you hadn't told me this was Lingonberry and just handed me a piece of toast, first I would have said, what the fuck are these little beads, these little bubbles, these whatever it is that exist within this jelly? Because it doesn't look right. Jelly doesn't look like that. Even fruit spread. I've never had a fruit spread where it doesn't spread out. There's still little beads of stuff. And the second thing I would have said was, it's delicious, but I wouldn't have thought Swedish Fish if I was eating it alone, unless you told me, unless you knew, like I knew in this case. You know what I'm trying to say here. And nonetheless, I'm super excited that this experience happened here today. I've longed to try Lingonberry. I will continue to use Lingonberry. I'm not going to let this go to waste. It's got a good taste, so you get an 8 Lingonberry, 8 for you. And if you guys are loving the content I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and hit the little bell icon because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit nuttier. Together, let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Oh. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves because they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one's told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodkast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, everybody.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.